Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're out here in the tent getting ready to take a look at the Powersmart 26-inch snowblower. So Powersmart reached out and said, hey Kyle, would you be interested in reviewing one of our snowblowers? If so, which one would you want? Well, I decided to go with the 26-inch two-stage gas snow thrower, as they call it right here on the box. I believe this is 212 cc's. Now, they shipped it to me. It came FedEx. This is how it showed up, right? This handle here ripped because I went to help the FedEx person move it, and it's heavy. You know what I mean? It's a snowblower in a box. This thing is heavy. So today what we're going to do is we're going to unbox it, do any assembly that's required, put some gas in it, and see if we can get this thing fired up. Now, there will be a part 2 to this video, and that's going to take place when we get some snow, and we're really going to work this machine doing all the snow blowing that I've got on this property, and we'll probably even do a third video when I create this year's sled track going down our back hill for the kids. So if you guys are interested in all that, be sure to give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, also leave me a comment, let me know what you guys think of this video. Oh yeah, and when you hit subscribe, hit the bell, hit all, and turn on YouTube notifications so you guys don't miss those future uploads. All right, enough of that. Let's just get right into it. Okay, boom, got myself a nice little bing, do that little bit of little okay, one of those. Yeah, that could use some sharpening, I know. Let's hit some tape right here. Right, oh, cutting through some cardboard, that's always good. All right, this knife could be way sharper, that is for sure. What the heck was I just cutting with this thing? Oh, I was cutting cardboard. Cutting cardboard. Cardboard cutting does not help with knives. That is, yeah. Anyway, look at that. Look at that. That thing's packed in there pretty well, huh? Cool, cool. So we cut the box open, but I got a feeling I'm gonna have to cut the sides down and actually rip the box like apart, because there's just no way I'm gonna be able to pick this thing up and out of the box without just destroying the box. Just a quick look, you know, the wheels obviously are not attached, so we're gonna have to put the wheels on. Looks like we're gonna have to put the whole upper handle and everything on. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of put you guys back, put you out of the way, and kind of just start taking everything out of the box that I can, or, you know, unbox it, right? continue to open things up, you know. Let's not judge a book here too early. Maybe those are just extra parts somebody whipped in the box, you know. We'll stay positive. Who knows? Let's see if we can open up this bag and see what's in here. Okay, some more parts. I'm gonna just dump all this out. Yeah. 3 batteries, some more nuts and bolts, the key. Looks like shear pins for the auger. I'm still not seeing the other pin though for the other tire. Don't have anything else in that bag. Maybe it'll turn up. Who knows? Maybe it'll turn up. So I'm gonna tip this forward. I'm just trying to look at the wheels here and figure out where or how they're supposed to go on. So there's this little black spacer that is on the drive shaft down here, and it slides right off, and I'm starting to think it's just on there for shipping purposes. So we're going to pull that guy off, slip our tire back on here. We're going to take our one pin that we have, pop that back through, and throw a cotter pin in there, so at least that one's going to stay in place for us, right? Let's move on here to the other side. Take that spacer off, put this tire on. Now we don't have the piece we need though to keep the tire on. Now the company was really excited to have me go through this and do this review for them and you know, do this. So honestly, we're going to put together everything that we can, and as long as everything else is here, we'll fire it up. Go ahead, get rid of this bubble wrap on our chute. You know what I am wondering is if these things just came apart in transit and that's why there's loose nuts and bolts in here. Maybe they just worked their way out. I say that, but at the same time, like I said, these are held in place with a cotter pin. So if that is the case, they need some better cotter pins if those are falling out. Let's finish unwrapping everything here. Now, something to keep in mind though, when things are being shipped out, stuff happens in transit, you know, that's not always taken in account for shipping purposes. I mean, this is a snowblower that got shipped. Things happen. Alright, we got all this stuff. Okay? Now what do we got to do with all this stuff? You know, I try not to do the owner manual thing here, but let's see what we got in the bag. Instruction manual. And another one in different languages. This is a quick setup guide. So here's a quick setup guide for basically assembling it when it arrives. Okay, shows these pins with your cotter pins for the wheels. That's what we're missing. We're missing one of those. And like I said, after I shoot this video, I'm going to reach out to Powersmart and let them know what I'm missing. And I'm sure they're going to have no problem sending me that part. And I'm sure they'll take into account how they you know, pack this in the future. So let's see here. Let's see. I'm grabbing the wrong parts, you guys. This wasn't planned out, you know what I mean? I'm unboxing it here, just showing you guys what is up. Now, that's where one of the bolts go that fell out. I see it down here. This takes 2 bolts to hold this on. Alright, it's back here by the tires. So one of the bolts, these are just in here finger tight. One of them, I'm pretty sure we already picked up off the ground, but we're gonna see here. There's the one I'm missing. Let's move you over here on this side because this is where we're gonna be working right now. First, if you look down here on the side between the tire and the housing down here, there's two spots that kind of look like they're brass, but they're, you know, they're not brass, but they kind of look that way when you look at them. That's where these bolts go, 2 on each side. Now, as far as my machine goes, 2 of them were bolted in the machine there, and the other 2 were loose in the box. All right, I was able to find all 4, so that's a plus. Next, you're gonna need this piece. All right, this is gonna go on this way, so it's kind of wrapping up toward the machine. If you put it on backwards, it's gonna face you, bend out to you. You don't want that, you want it to bend toward the machine. Got myself a 12mm socket to help tighten them down. The first thing I'm going to want to do here is get them lined up, and I'm just going to put everything in by hand. That's always easier, get everything started by hand. Now I know we could be doing this on the workbench and all that, but I can't always guarantee I'm going to have help moving things around and, you know, calling on people, hey, come help me do this and that. So I figure most of you are going to be doing it like me. Hopefully you guys will be in a heated garage. I'm out here in my carving tent on the ground. You know, it's pretty similar. Most of you will be doing this, I'm sure. If you were to get this machine, you're going to be sitting out in your garage. You're going to be sitting on the floor, sitting in the yard, sitting in your driveway, right? Putting this thing together. Now it is pushed out a little bit, so you might have to just kind of squeeze it in just a little bit so you can get those bolts started. Due to the bends in the metal, it's a little bit springy, but it's nothing you shouldn't be able to handle. Let's get our ratchet here all set. Show you guys what the heck I just put on. All right, so those 3 are down in here, okay? Or 2 here. The other 2 are here. This is one of those things, if you were to get the machine, you'd see it, and it'd make a lot more sense. So the next thing we're gonna put on is the chute and the handle that comes up with the rest of everything we need, right? So this comes all together, at least with mine, right? They already got the wire in there. There's a metal shaft here on the chute. It looks like it's gonna just slip in to the existing pipe that's already there. I'm just doing that like that for now, so it's out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and look at this. Looks like it should slide right over the piece we just bolted on. Right, you can kind of see where it's gonna stop. Now it's gonna take 2 bolts on each side to bolt that in place. And those bolts came in the black bag that was provided, okay? Now they've got locking nuts on them. Okay, so it's a carriage bolt. You got your locking nut. It's got this plastic thread in there so they don't loosen up. Now when you're back here and you're looking at this, the bar we put on already has holes on the inside with square spots. So what that means is the carriage bolts are going to go in this way and the nuts will go in from the outside. Now what I'm going to do is remove the nuts from the bolts, pick this up, line up those holes, and put those through. Now do just one side, it'll kind of help you hold everything in place a little bit. Grab your other bolts. Pop those in. There, right? Nuts aren't on yet, but they help hold everything for you. Put them on finger tight for now. I'll do 1 on each side. So in this case, due to the bends of the handle, this pops out a little bit farther than this piece, which means we got to tighten it down and it'll kind of suck it in. That's why I do 1 on each side to start, and I do them finger tight so things aren't moving around too much on me. Need a full 1/2 inch for these ones. All right, so the 12mm socket works for the first set of bolts we put in down on the bottom. The 1/2 inch socket works to put the next 4 on for this upper portion of the handle. As you're tightening down your carriage bolts, there's a lot of room for play as the sides get sucked in. You might have to just hold it in place with your thumb and just continue to tighten it down. Tight is tight. Don't overkill it. You don't want to strip nothing out. Okay, that's good. Now look in here. This is our primer, right? Your choke, the key, which it looks like they give you a spare key, so that is pretty awesome. And yeah, our handle's on. So the next thing it looks like we got to start working on is hooking up these cables. I'd like to think they're self-explanatory, right? But let's go ahead and look at the paperwork they have for us. So looking right here, you can see where things need to hook up, all right? And these are gonna just go right on the side. They're already meant to be on. Look at your handles. There's zip ties holding this stuff in place. I just broke this one off, but there's zip ties up in here. You might want to get rid of those, okay? Guys, we're looking up here at the cables and what we've got to loosen up. And you got a little nut here, and then this piece will twist down. Now, I've got a little 6mm wrench and just a pair of vice grips. The 6mm fits, and the vice grips fit up here, obviously, but I think this is probably an 8mm for the little nut. I just don't have one. So loosen this up, stand that up, right? Loosen it up until we can get these two little pieces in here together. Once we do, let's tighten everything back up. All right, guys, so now we're right over here by the auger. All right, we put this post in and just slid it into the other one just to hold everything in place, but now we need to bolt it together. Now you get these 2 bolts and 2 locking nuts. The locking nuts are 10mm, bolts are 10mm. Should have grabbed my wrench, but it'll be all right. So looks as though we're gonna have to jiggle it around, push those through, tighten things up. Ooh, don't forget to drop one though. You always have to drop stuff when you're working. Just you know, wouldn't be an assembly project if you didn't. Now I'm looking at this chute. This is a plastic chute, which can be good. I don't mind having a plastic chute. I feel like it gives it room to move and wiggle when it's throwing snow. I've had good luck with those, at least on other machines. But yeah. All right, so I am gonna have to grab my 10mm wrench to finish tightening those up. Okay guys, so the next piece we're looking at is this rod here with the red handle. It's got a little bend in it. Now there's a eye hole right here and some plastic. We're gonna fish it through there. This is gonna go all the way over to the chute. All right. Oh, come on up over here. Now in this case, I have a cotter pin that's in there already. Let's see if we can, I'm gonna have to spin it. So spin your chute, get that out. All right. Pop the lever in there. Line the holes up. Put the cotter pin back in. Our handle. So it clicks. It doesn't move super freely. It clicks as you move it. Right? I will say this though, right? It's clicking and sounding rough. Something I will say about my other snowblowers where this moves really easily is when it's throwing snow, it walks. So I'm eager to see if this will walk when we're throwing snow, or if those things that are clicking, those little cogs, will keep it in place for us when it's throwing snow. So I think that's might be a good thing. Still got a rod that we need to connect. It's got this little piece on the end. I've got a flat spot on that end, and that's going to go right down here. So we're going to fish it through there. Hopefully. One way or another, it's going to go in there. Okay. Let's see here. Might have been easier to put this piece on after, but all right, there it is. Got that baby wrapped around. Now this has got to come up here to this lever, right? We got that lever, got this right here. Pop that baby through. You should have another cotter pin. Cotter pin. Pop that in. Now, I do not recommend putting cotter pins in up from the bottom. Always put them in from the top. They can't fall out this way. They'll fall into themselves, right? It'd only go in even tighter if it were to fall down. If you put a cotter pin in this way, it could fall out on the ground. Then it's gone, especially in the winter. Gone, gone forever. All right, guys, so I tipped the snowblower back. We've got these skid plates. All right, there's 2 of them. They look like this. They come in a bag and the bolts are already in there. These are another carriage bolt with a locking nut. So 1/2-inch socket's what we're gonna need. We're gonna take our first skid plate. And I'm gonna put that flat head of that carriage bolt on the inside. Right? And we're gonna put the nut on the outside. I don't want anything else protruding into this area if I don't have to. So, flat head of the carriage bolt out. Now, you kind of have to anyway, because there's no square spots on this for that carriage bolt. It'll just slide around. The square spots are in here. Alright guys, so I got all the cardboard out of here and picked everything up and kind of went through the whole area with a fine tooth comb, and I'm still missing the pin for the tire on that side. It happens, you know, you think about it with shipping, things happen, you know, they can be overlooked. Companies make mistakes, and that is okay. It happens. Like, I personally always give a little bit of room for stuff like this and always plan on it. So what I'm going to end up doing is sending an email out to Powersmart, just letting them know that I'm missing that part. A big thing to take note of is this right here. The machine has no oil, so it's been drained for shipping purposes. It even tells you that in these instructions on the back, right? There's no oil, no gas. Can't ship it with that stuff. Now, they do provide you with Powersmart motor oil, 5W30, and they say you need 18 to 20 ounces. Well, right here they give you 19.6 ounces, so perfect, right? What we're going to need to do is add the oil ourselves. We're going to have to remove this cap right here, this yellow small cap. That's the gas. This is the oil. You can always save this bottle, and when you buy 5W30, you can fill it back up. All right, it wasn't totally full, just keep that in mind. 580 milliliter, you know, it goes to 4, so it's about to here. Honestly, if you want to make it real easy, before you dump any out, take a permanent black marker and make a line to where it was full, and then you can refill with another one and always have the same amount as needed for when you do oil changes. Next, we're going to remove this gas cap, and we're going to put gas in it. I usually buy the good gas for these things. I don't buy the cheap stuff when I put it in my machines. Now, because we put oil in, that means we do not need to mix gas, so it's just straight gas. All right, so we're going to fill this baby up. All right, let's put our gas cap back on. Give her a click. Now, this does have an electric start button here, which means you plug a lead cord in over here. We've also got our pull cord somewhere. Where's our pull cord? Right here. Okay, we got our pull cord. All right, guys, so for me, it's been a couple days. For you, it's only been seconds. I had a little family emergency. I had to stop filming after I filled everything up. So I haven't done anything with this since before the commercial. All right, I think there's going to be a commercial before this point, but we added fresh gas, we added the oil. It has sat for a couple days. I've also emailed Powersmart about the missing wheel bolt, as they call it, wheel bolt and cotter pin. Okay, so they're going to get that in the mail, and that'll be out for me to install. As far as this video goes, though, we got to move into starting this for the first time. And I'm just looking at the manual, right? So we can kind of do what they're saying to do here. If it's loud, I do apologize. It's starting to rain, and the tent's a little loud. But this tells us to prime it 3 times. pull until there's some light resistance and then pull quick, you know, kind of like starting anything. Yeah, so basically we're just going to put the choke on and prime it up and see if we can fire this guy up for the first time. All right, so we're here at the back or front of the snowblower. I guess back, right? This is where we're going to stand by the handle. The key is in, so it's on. I think that's full choke. 1, 2, 3. Wow. First pull and she fired right up. That's crazy. See if we turn that choke down a little bit. See if she'll go again. Alright. Now, I haven't had any gas through it, so we're going to just prime it again. Turning it off myself, so we're gonna go ahead and fire this up again. I've got it this way so the exhaust will just blast out the door. I got my exhaust fan going. Let's see if we can get her started one more time. With it running for the first time, choke's pretty much got to be at half or on all the way. It started spitting and sputtering as I started to turn the choke off. So halfway on the choke, it stays running pretty good. Now we're not going to drive it around. It's raining and I'm waiting for that wheel bolt and cotter pin to show up, which is no big deal. But as you guys can see, assembly and the first startup and everything went really well, to be honest. Losing parts due to shipping, like those things happen. So I don't really hold that against Powersmart. The only thing I do recommend to them is taping their boxes. That way there, if a part were to come out of the bag or come loose, it doesn't get lost in shipping, right? So tape the boxes, Powersmart. That way there you guys don't lose any parts, right? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If so, be sure to give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe, all right? We are going to be using this once we get a big snowfall, okay? So bringing you guys out here, I got nothing. I got no snow to clean up. Normally we do a big sled track down the back hill. Plan is to use that snowblower to create that sled track. So what we end up doing is snow blowing half the yard and just piling snow and creating this track for the kids to sleigh ride down our back hill, on top of doing my driveway and our sidewalks and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna work this thing. This will also, if it's still running and holding up, we're also going to bring this thing to the carving yard to keep that area clean from snow this year. So I guess that'll be the big test, is once we get some snow to, you know, see how it performs. So our handle works pretty well. I'm sure there'll be some things I haven't gone over because we're not actually running it, like, and using it and driving it. But yeah, be sure to give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit that bell, hit all, turn on YouTube notifications so you guys don't miss part 2 reviewing the 212cc Powersmart 26-inch snowblower. Like I said, hopefully we have some snow and we can really, you know, put this thing to work. So I really do appreciate you guys watching though, and check out some videos popping up. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.